Hello and happy holidays. Hey, listen, are you stressed out because you're going to be going to some holiday meals, maybe with the family, maybe with the friends, and you're worried about that struggle that we get into when we go out and we're eating with the family and we overeat, or they have all of our holiday favorites there and we overconsume them and then it's just a disaster. And are you worried that you're going to be going to just more than one of these? So I want to, in this video, get into some really practical, easy ways to go through your family holiday meals or those parties that you're going to, whether it's with friends or family, and really manage your weight, stay conscious, stay connected to yourself, and feel good about it so you can go through the holidays not having gained weight, but having released weight or maintained weight, whatever your goals are. My name is Rita Black. I am a clinical hypnotherapist, a weight management specialist, and I am the author of From Fat to Thin Thinking, Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss. So let's just dive in and explore how we can manage our weight through all of these holiday meals coming up. The first thing you really want to do before you even step foot outside your own home and go to the holiday meal, or before you prepare to have people over, is you want to prepare your mind for success. And preparing is really, with regards to weight management, is probably the numero uno thing you can do in most situations, but definitely in the holiday season. Why? Why is this so important? Because during the holidays, we are outside of our normal structure of life, and our brains are actually really overwhelmed. The stimulus of the holidays, what happens is the more stimulated our brain is, the lower our impulse control, the lower our willpower. That's why people go through the holiday seasons and they start with good intentions, but as the holiday season unfolds, we get weaker and weaker with regards to our impulse control until by, December 31st, we're just shoving everything in our mouth and drinking everything and just like, I'm going to start again in the new year. But what you can do is when you prepare your mind before you go out, take a moment, think it through ahead of time. What you're doing is actually creating a roadmap in your mind about beginning with the end in mind. What I mean by that is leaving that house, leaving that holiday party, having eaten lightly, feeling good. I want you to feel the feeling you want to feel leaving that holiday, whether it's your mom's or your own home or your friend's home or your boss's home, so that you already are telling your brain, we want to make this happen like this. Your brain, what you're doing is engaging the reticular activation system and saying, by engaging in that feeling, you're saying to the brain, this is what I want, let's create this. And if you can create that in your mind and feel that, like, that's how I want to leave, I want to feeling confident, proud of myself for having managed my weight, the chances are you're going to be so much more set up for success. And you kind of want to think the whole evening through before you go there, because like athletes will prepare their game in their mind, and it's kind of like you're going into a game. If you just show up hoping to do well, what will happen in your brain is you will do exactly what you always do, because once a trigger hits your brain, it's cue, routine, reward. The brain is it's like the train has left the station. So you cannot hope to manage your weight at the party unless you prepare ahead of time. Unless you're a super willpowered human being. Most of us aren't. We need to prepare our brains. And the older the brain, frankly, the less willpower we have. So begin with the end in mind. Have a goal. Now, the next subject is booze. Booze, friends, booze. Yes, booze. So what's the quickest way to having the brain go, I don't care about anything, is to go to a party and drink booze on an empty stomach before you eat anything else. It'll spike your blood sugar, you'll feel woozy, that part of your brain that can resist things and has a plan will be like, plan? I don't have a plan. Let's have fun. And, of course, you want to have fun. So here's my cue with booze. I'm not saying don't drink booze, but be smart about it. First of all, go to that party with some food in your stomach, whether it's like a half a cup of Greek yogurt, a hard-boiled egg, something protein-based, so that if you have a drink right when you get through the door, hopefully you're not, but we'll get into that in a second. But whatever you do, you're going in and you aren't having an empty stomach that then you can put, if you eat potato chips, that's gonna trigger your brain. You want your brain, you want your body stabilized so that your brain doesn't get tripwired by whatever. If you're eating a highly refined food in the beginning of the party, and you have some protein in your stomach, the chances are that highly refined food isn't going to make you want to eat a lot more. Or if you have a drink, it won't make you want to, continue to drink. It's a lot easier to manage things if you have a little something to eat beforehand. But also with regards to booze, what you want to do is really have a plan, like I said. And one of the ideas with the plan is to probably drink some water first and then start with the alcohol. Make sure you're hydrated. And also, you might really think through how many drinks do you need to have in order to have a good time. Now, that answer may vary depending on the people at the party, right? Like if you have a fun set of friends that, you have one glass of wine and you just have a great time, then you might just want a glass. If you it's a 2-drink night, okay, well then stagger it out, have a drink, then have some water, then have another drink. Or if you want to postpone drinking until the meal comes, or if you think that you're going to want to have your drink before dinner, but once dinner starts, you don't really need alcohol. These are all things that you can think through ahead of time and really give yourself that choice. But you want to think it through, because what you don't want to do is show up at the door, drink that first drink, have that brain go click, and then keep drinking throughout the night, and then overeating, and then leaving the party feeling gross, overdrank, like that you've had too much to drink and too much to eat. You really want to start with the end in mind and really have a plan for the alcohol. And if you can bring some healthy treats to the party, good for you. That will set you up for success. And it will make everybody else really kind of happy too. I can't tell you how many clients I work with who start doing this and everybody at the party is so happy to have healthy treats there. But people are mindful nowadays about what they're serving. But sometimes, Aunt Jan, she's not putting out the crudité platter. She's putting out the, the baked brie roll and all the potato chips and the onion dip and the la-la-las and the this and that, and there's not a green thing in sight. So if you can bring like a crudité platter, something that you can eat that's going to be light and not, have you consuming 1,000 calories before you even sit down to dinner, all the better for you. And then also dessert, bringing something healthy for dessert. I had a client who told me this wonderful idea, which is slicing up apple slices, red and green, and arranging them on a platter and sprinkling cinnamon on them and putting toothpicks in each one and putting that out on the dessert table. And everybody went for them because it was just, I think she put some lemon juice on it so they wouldn't turn brown. But people were just like, this is so amazing. They were so happy to have a healthy treat available. When you go to holiday parties, often there is a pressure to eat from other people. People bring in their special holiday, I only make this at the holidays, so you better get it. And there's that pressure to eat Aunt Millie's, fruit cake or Uncle Archie's, roll of sausage or whatever the thing is, So you really want to practice your response to people, like saying no thank you, or gosh, Aunt Millie, I love your fruitcake, but this year I'm feeling a little gluten intolerant and I'm just going to pass. It looks delicious and thank you, you're so amazing. Because the most important thing to understand about people forcing food on you is that they really just want to be acknowledged for what they've done. If you watch thin people, they'll often be so gracious about food. They aren't like, I'm on a diet and don't give me that. But they'll just be like, oh, thank you so much. This is so amazing. Look at this. You took so much time. And I can tell, and I just so appreciate the way your fruitcake looks. It's so beautiful. And then as soon as they turn their back, Aunt Millie turns her back, they kind of, hide the fruitcake under a napkin and put it to the side. So, or take a bite and then put the rest of it aside. So, practice in your mind ahead of time what obstacles you might be up against with regards to social pressure, and come up with some responses before you get to the party, so it's a lot easier to follow through with that. And really appreciate people and let them know. And I will tell you, it will change your life, because you'll see, like, that's really what they want. They aren't really so much hawkishly looking at whether or not you're consuming it. They just want to be appreciated. So now, once we get to the party, while the appetizers are being passed, it's kind of hard to sit at a party, with all the food in front of you and just sit there, with it for an hour before dinner is served, especially if you're hungry. So please make sure that you eat ahead of time. But one of my top tricks for party survival is to actually help out, like to get up and ask the hostess, what can I do? Can I help set the table? Can I just peel potatoes? Because then, one, I get to help, and I love helping. But it also keeps me occupied. It keeps me from eating or drinking too much in the beginning. And I also get to catch up with the hostess, which, is the person usually who's invited you. And I, when you're standing in the kitchen and helping somebody and everybody else is out, you get to hear all the dirt. It's pretty cool. And then you get to walk around to the party and help, here, have Uncle Harry, so great to see you. Do you want some of this? Granny, here, this is Aunt Millie's special. She wanted you to try. So you get to connect with everybody without being stuck on the couch in front of the, potato chips and the onion dip and being a hostage. So help out. And help out during the meal too. Help clear the plates. That gets you away from eating seconds. And even with dessert, help serve the dessert. And then maybe you can serve yourself a little piece instead of having to eat the whole thing. So with family favorites, if it is a favorite for you and you do want to eat it, that's fine. But just remember, after 3 bites of any food, your mouth experience goes from 90% down to 20%. And this is what I call my 3-bite rule. You probably, if you know me, know my 3-bite rule. You don't need a huge heaping serving of the mashed potatoes or your, Aunt Millie's macaroni and cheese. You just need a few bites, and you can fill your plate with the healthy green stuff and hopefully there is some, and some protein, and then take a few bites of those family favorites rather than heaping platters full, and then mindfully eat them, enjoy them, but no, that's kind of enough, and the same goes for dessert. So this is something that is so key and critical, is that when we are around other people and in a social situation, and everybody's talking, it overwhelms our brain. And often we will eat more to calm ourselves down. So studies have been shown that people might consume over 250 calories or to 500 calories more when you're eating with other people. So one thing that I like to do is if I'm going to a party, look around for an escape hatch, and usually it's the bathroom. And what I mean by that is if in the middle of the meal and I've finished what I'm going to eat, I'll usually get up and I'll go to the bathroom, or I might go get up and take plates out into the kitchen. That's another good place. But I just kind of take a breath and I connect with myself. I say, I've eaten enough. How are things going? I'll have a little conversation with myself. And it kind of gives your brain time to regroup and think, okay, well, how am I going to get, finish this evening? Do I need dessert? Do I just want a cup of tea? So getting yourself away from the crowd where you can really connect and kind of process everything up to date, especially if your family's volatile and loud and boisterous, you really need to kind of come and go, and calm. Okay, can I go back out? Yes. And then, get ready so that you aren't eating all your feelings, but that you're giving yourself time to go in and process. You may need to do this many, many times. Everybody's like, why is she going to the bathroom so often? She must have a bladder problem. Let them think you have a bladder problem. That's fine. You are going to leave there having not overeaten because they're a volatile family, or because, they trigger you, or whatever. They, go... know you have an escape hatch, and take care of yourself, process, and then when you're ready, go back out, face the crowd, hello, calm, cool, and collected, and get on with your meal. And then the other thing would be, if you are the one that is the host and everybody's left, or, everybody's in the other room, decompress before you do the dishes, because often for a lot of hostesses and hosts, they may not be eating so much at dinner, but then after dinner, after the stress of preparing the meal is over, then they'll eat a bunch while they're in the kitchen and everybody else is out, or after everybody is gone, like while they're cleaning up and doing that. So, you could even leave the dishes until the next day, where you're not going to be tempted by the leftovers. Another idea would be to have somebody come into the kitchen and help you, so that you're not alone, and they're helping you put the leftovers away and get cleaned up. But don't go and do the dishes when you're overwhelmed, stressed out, and then we just start, doing forkfuls of whatever, we're putting into the Tupperware containers. Okay. And the last thing is, if you are going to someone's house, leave empty-handed, because everybody's going to want to give you half of the cake or half the lasagna or whatever. And you'll just say, I don't know that I'm going to be around. And then, no, thank you. Or if you're the host, give everybody else the food and get it out of your house. Don't have a bunch of the leftovers hanging around, and don't bring home a bunch of leftovers, because again, stimulus control is 60 to 70% of weight management. If it's not in your environment, you're not going to overeat on it. All right. I hope that this has been a very helpful, tip-filled video for you. And here is my little holiday special for you. Please come and join me for my free masterclass in the new year called How to Stop the Carb Craving Cycle, so that you can feel great, lose weight, and be free of that old relationship with sugar and carbohydrates. Because often sugar and carbohydrates are the boss of us rather than us being the boss of them. And in this masterclass, I'm going to teach you how to use your mind powerfully, so that it's not about getting carbs out of your life completely, but it's about mastering your relationship with sugar and carbohydrates. Why not start the new year with a powerful new relationship with sugar and refined carbs, so that you can release the weight, keep it off, and feel fantastic into the new year. All right, so sign up for my free masterclass. I will see you in the new year. Have a happy and healthy holiday season.